So I just want to confirm really quick, where is everybody residing? I mean, you can say country and state. You don't have to give me city if you want.
DFW Fort Worth.
Okay.
I'm in Poland, Warsaw.
Poland.
In Finland.
Finland.
Romania, Timișoara.
Romania. Okay. Cool. And for those who don't know, I'm in Maryland on the East Coast, of course, which is why we're in East Coast time, but that's just me. So I really, again, appreciate you guys all, waiting. I know it was, terrible having to go another 2 weeks before we could get started, but just my schedule. I've been taking a test to become an English teacher. I'll be taking more tests in a couple of weeks. I'll be taking some training that's going to eat up a lot of my time starting at the end of June. So we may have to try to shift this if it goes well. And I just appreciate everybody's effort that you put into your characters and getting together at this awkward time. So thank you once again.
Thank you for DMing for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. All right. So let's get the party started. And I got to switch something around here on my screen. So I have a second screen here that I'll be glancing at a lot. Okay. So I'm going to start with kind of an overview of the world. I'm going to zoom us down to Nightingale Harbor. I will review everybody's, kind of positions and how we're going to start. And Robert will be starting with you arriving in town like we discussed in your backstory. Okay?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Richard.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Yeah. Some people are already in town. They know where they are. Everybody's kind of new, but my goal is to get you all together. All right, let me share the screen here.
So with
okay, can everybody see that map?
Not yet.
Yes, got it pulled up right now, and
Yep.
believe I got it right here as well. Some bit of an overachiever like that.
Okay.
Okay, now I see it.
Great. Okay, so this is the entire planet so far of Trasdus, which is my own setting. I've been piecing it together from other mini campaigns that I've run and other stories that I've written. So that's why a lot of the map is not filled out, specifically Rick's. Haven't had a lot of stories taking place in Rick's. So on here we can see Madridan is the continent that we'll be starting on. Madridan is split into, I believe it's 7 duchies or duchies, dukedoms. And we will be in what's called the Lands of Neon, which is a primarily elvish area. But all races are pretty much accepted. Rix is primarily dragonborn, dwarves, and your hobgoblins, and such. So, and they were the enemy, up to about 2 years ago. There was a big war going on that lasted nearly a decade between the two continents and the countries. So there's still, that piece is still new in everybody's mind. So dwarves, especially on the west side of Madridan, are rare, and there's a little bit of hesitance about them. Also, centaurs are a common race in this land. They don't just stick to the woods. They're kind of like southern gentlemen from the south. They're kind of like old money, so to speak.
Okay.
So this is a little zoomed in closer into the lower left or the southwest of Madridan, which is the Lands of Neon. So somebody I think is from Cromvale, which is the capital of the Lands of Neon, which is north of the Fulvus Forest. The Fulvus Forest is like a really popular vacation getaway. So the capital city is here. And Nightingale Harbor is quite a ride. This is nearly 2 weeks by horse to get to Nightingale Harbor, so we're pretty isolated. So I'm going to zoom in again. So here we see the Cider River Valley. It's called the Cider River because it actually tastes subtly like cider, and nobody really knows why. Nightingale Harbor's here. Again, we have some settlements that, again, just because I haven't bothered to name them, I'll be asking for your guys' help as we explore, the greater land to name things, and that gives you guys a little bit of touch and purchase into the story. So Nightingale Harbor is on the Mirror Bay. For those who don't know, Mirror Bay was kind of a hotbed for piracy during the war. These groups of pirates who came together and formed the Sea Pirates or the Sea Princes. They kind of like would hit local areas and such, and there's nothing that could be done. But now, since the war ended, they've kind of gone to ground. They're not as active as they were anymore. There's an increased military presence in Nightingale Harbor because the military can afford it now. So we're not quite sure what's up with the Sea Princes right now. Everybody see the city map of Nightingale Harbor?
Yep.
Cool. So Nightingale Harbor is a mixture of new and old. Okay, you can see you've got the circular inner city and then kind of the outer city. The settlements and the docks have been here for hundreds of years. It's a very good location for ships. It's a good portage. But the inner city was rebuilt just a few decades ago into this nice circular walled city, and all the wealthy people took advantage of the flattened land and the new cobblestone streets to build their mansions and warehouses and things like that. So the inside the circle is known as the inner ward, or for short, the inward. And everything outside of that is called the outer ward or the outward. So that's just shorthand, inward, outward, simple. Inside the walls, outside the walls. The outer ward is what remains of the original city and docks. Again, there are some good permanent structures, but in some places it can still be a little bit ramshackle. One of the most steadfast structures is the Broken Dagger. This is the most well-known tavern in Nightingale Harbor. It's run by a former adventurer woman and her 3 daughters, and that is where a lot of people are sent as new arrivals to get a good room, or at the very least to get a good meal. They do have long-term rooms for rent upstairs, but also one night, week. They have different things, and the food is exquisite. Stop streaming. Okay, so let's start with just a quick overview of your characters. Don't go into too much detail. Just give me a name, class, a quick backstory, like elevator pitch of where you're from, what your goals are, and then we'll get started with Richard arriving in town. So let's start with our resident Nightingale Harbor alumni, Argel Tull. Robert, you're still muted.
Okay, so Argel Tal is born and raised in Nightingale Harbor. He was raised by his father, which is a guard in the town. Because of this, he already has a permanent room in the tavern. He spends most of his time traveling around Nightingale Harbor, gathering plants, creating potions, ointments, and selling them in Nightingale Harbor. He has recently discovered his magical powers, and he's not sure in which direction he should go. His main goal is to become an accomplished merchant and to be reunited with his mother.
And he's a half-orc.
Yes, I'm a half-orc. Orc mother, human father.
And I should point out to everybody that orcs are it's not that they are uncivilized, but they just choose to typically live in a kind of Native American, off the land kind of way. So they're not always the raiding types. Some of them have settled structures, like just on their own outside of town, and there is trade. But again, they are, because they're scary looking, there's kind of so sometimes orcs can still be looked down upon. But they're not purely evil. All right. Next is our recent arrival, Orphea.
Yep. Okay, so Orphea is a youngish half-elf bard. And actually, she's hired. She is part of Cartographers Guild that is mapping a new site for mines, I believe, nearby in the Ringtail Hills.
No, the Ringtail Hills is another area. It's the Pengrove Mountains.
Okay, Pengrove Mountain. Sorry. Yep. And I'm expecting something to change as I have few 3 days. I can't go without adventure, so probably some adventure will find me as usual.
Indeed, it will. Okay, Toby. Toby, you're muted.
Muted. Mute. You're muted.
He might not be able to hear us. Toby, you're muted.
Still no.
Yeah, I still can't hear you. I see that you're unmuted, but you're still not coming through for some reason.
Try rejoining the chat channel.
Yeah, leave and then come back in. And try leaving your video off this time.
Still muted.
Yeah, he hasn't left yet. Toby, go ahead and leave the chat and then rejoin. Okay, see if that will kick his thing back into gear, and maybe we'll just turn his video off. I think it's sucking up his bandwidth.
Probably.
Okay, Toby, can you hear us? Are we still? Well, wait, I heard that.
Hello?
Hello, we
You're
can
now.
hear you now.
Okay, you're coming through.
Yeah. I'm a Goliath fighter who's been traveling with the Flying Serpent. So, and I'm from the Bavaria, that it's way up north, and our ship has been damaged and then put in the docks of and we've been waiting for repairs, and there is where I've been going. Hear me? And
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave my video off if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. It sounded a little bit better. We can hear you. Just make sure to speak up when it is your turn, and we'll keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, Richard, tell your story, and then we will get to your arrival in town.
Okay, well, my name is Eroth. I'm a half-elf. Don't know it yet, though. Have a long, strong history of military presence in my family, so joining up and becoming a paladin was just something that was natural. From there, I set out to become a paladin and serve my kingdom the best I can.
All right. So you're a half elf. You don't know you're an Aasimar.
Okay.
And you're from Cromvale originally, so you're kind of from up north. So you know a little bit about the lands of Neon, but you don't know Nightingale Harbor specifically. You're a member of was it Knights of Guidance?
Yeah, Knights of Guidance was the one I joined up with.
Right. They trained you for about 10 years in Capital City, and now you're at the point where they're like, okay, we got a mission for you. And they've sent you to Nightingale Harbor, 2 weeks on a stagecoach.
With a lovely silk merchant who just doesn't know how to be quiet.
That's right. You got a chatty silk merchant who told you all about dyeing and sizing and weaving and collecting and yeah. So you're glad when the stagecoach rumbles into town. We kind of come over a hill and you can see the ocean, or at least Mirror Bay. You see the water out in the distance, and you can see the walled city of Nightingale Harbor coming up. A little bit outside of town, the wagon actually goes over the Raven Spout, which is the river that passes through the city, and you come into the outer ward, and the wagon stops and says, "Okay, unload. Welcome to Nightingale Harbor. This stagecoach will be heading back tomorrow morning. If anybody anybody who needs a trip back to Capital City." So the merchant, he's just like, "Oh, finally, we're here. It's very, very such a daunting trip, but you've been just a lovely companion. I really do appreciate, all of our discussions and your keen ear, and it's just been wonderful. If you ever need anything in the mercantile or silk industry, please don't hesitate to ask for me." Okay. So he's, unloading his gear, and he, meets with an older gentleman with a very nice beard and kind of like a purple hat and kind of like, very fancy clothes. He meets with him nearby, and they proceed into the inner ward right away.
Okay. So with that being said, please excuse my son right now.
No problem.
I will go from the carriage. I will go try to find the tavern, seeing as that would be the most likely spot to find anyone of purpose in this small weak-eating town. To my eyes,
it is very small from what you're used to. Indeed, the stagecoach driver is like, "Oh, the broken Dagger. Yes, it's just over there. It's a large 2-story building right next to the warehouse." So you look over towards the old docks, and you see some ships with sails beyond the buildings, and you see one ship that the mast is actually broken. And it's like barely holding on. It's like been lashed together with ropes and things like that. It looks like it hit a heavy storm recently. But you do see the 2-story building that he's talking about. There's a couple people milling about nearby, and you're welcome to head that way.
Okay. Before I do, real quick, I just ask him if he knows anything about the ship to see if it's something that should be taken be of concern. I'm just like, hey. That ship, do you know anything about that broken sail, or?
Okay, so the stagecoach driver kind of looks at it and goes, "No, it wasn't here before. I mean, I haven't been here in about a month and a half, but usually most of the ships that are usually in port look just fine. That they must have hit some pretty heavy weather recently."
Okay, thank you. I'll be on my way then. You have safe travels, and hopefully our paths cross again.
And you too. Thanks again for being such a understanding travel companion.
Then I'll take my leave, head to the tavern, and see what I see there.
Okay. Argoth, what are you doing? Argal. Muted.
Yeah, so I see this. I see this Trasdus guy, and I throw him into the broken dagger.
Okay, Visago, you're also entering the Broken Dagger. We'll get to that in just a minute. So,
Yep.
Argal.
Argel. Yes,
Argel.
I am just back from the Pengrove Mountains, where I have been gathering plants, and I've had a weird experience. I am heading straight for the Broken Dagger to my room, and I'm going to look what's changed, who's new. If there's anybody new and interesting, possibly any merchants. That is what I am doing.
Okay. So, Argel, as you are entering the Broken Dagger, there you see at the bar a Goliath, which is a very tall, gray-skinned individual. You don't recognize him. He looks new, and Goliaths are pretty rare in this area because they normally hail from Luvera, which is a northern continent, so they don't get around here very often. One of the rarest races that you would see in this area, right up there with Tabaxi and Tortles. But he looks like he's just showed up, and he's talking to he's getting himself a drink and seeing what he can see. Vasago, so you've come into the tavern. At the bar is a very stern, very tall, strong-looking blonde. Like strong enough, she came out of the back with a keg over one arm, just like carrying it like it was nothing, right? And she dropped it down. And she saw you, and she's like, oh, you're a tall drink of water, aren't you? Welcome to the Broken Tavern, or Broken Dagger. How can I help you?
What is the best drink you can have? What is the best drink?
Well, that depends. Do you want it? Do you want good taste, or do you just want it to knock you on your ass?
What about both?
A little bit of both. Well, okay. Well, this is a special cider of my own personal concoction, and I think you're going to like it. And she actually pulls out the pitcher and starts to pour it into a tankard. Then she looks at you, stops, and just puts the pitcher in front of you.
How much?
That'll be 1 gold. This is very pricey, but trust me, it'll be worth it.
Yep. I take that, and I.
Now, do you just chug the whole thing, or are you going to sip it tenderly?
First, I sip it tenderly.
Okay, it's got a very nice apple flavor. It's and a little bit of a smoky aftertaste. Even that first sip, you can tell this has a bit of a kick to it.
Yeah. And first, then I take a big swig, and then drop it down. This is good. How much else do you got?
What else do we have? Well, are you hungry? My sister's making up some game hen and some chickens in the back.
I take chicken.
Chicken, okay. Chicken and what?
What else? Potato? Got that?
Oh, absolutely, no problem. We'll get you a nice hearty breakfast for you.
Thank you.
Hold on, let me confirm something. Bridget, send out a clucker and some potatoes. So, and you hear in the back, you hear like a pot go clang, clang. It's like, what? God, okay, just a minute. So she's a little testy because she spends so much time in the kitchen, but trust me, the food will be fine. So the blonde, Yolanda, spots you, Argel, as you come in. She goes, Argel, how are you? Welcome back. How was your excursion? Did you find everything you needed?
I just look up from my drink, and I hear from the kitchen coming, a chicken sound and a heavy thud of a cleaver, and the chicken stops making noise. No, I haven't managed to find anything of interest. Actually, I ran into quite some trouble of the otherworldly kind.
Oh, really?
I'm curious if I can. Yes, sadly. I thought I could stay away from magic. I'm not into it, but apparently it has found me.
Well, goodness, that's quite an honor, I would say. I mean, not everybody has that magical gift, you know.
Yes, honor.
Hmm.
I'll have to see with the local wizard. What was her name? Victoria, if I remember correctly.
No, the Victoria is the sister in another town. The local wizard, her name is Neza Goldshear. She is a tiefling, and her tower is just inside the inner ward.
I'll have to see with her. I'm sure I can bargain some plans for an old dusty book that might have some answers.
She might. I haven't seen Neza in a few days. She might be out of town, but you know, if you head by her tower, she might be available. You have to check it out.
In the meanwhile, can you be a dear and just pour me something that will knock me on my ass?
Oh, absolutely. So she pulls out a tankard of brown ale into a nice little flagon, and she slips it over to you. If you take a shot of this, you're going to have to make a constitution check to keep from passing out.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. You know, so I just sniff it a little, then I just go, eh. So, constitution... Give me a second here. A little help, where is that? Charisma, wisdom, constitution, there we go.
There you go.
18.
18. Okay. So you chug this down. It's got a bite. It's like, you know, your eyes kind of go, it's kind of like, you know, your vision narrows for a second, kind of like black on the outer sight, but you hold it in. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. She's like, I'm always impressed by the way you can handle your liquor, Argyle.
Then I noticed the Goliath that is sitting at the bar, and I go, who's this guy? Any info on him?
No, fresh off the boat, you know, but you know, he's also a heavy drinker, and he looks hungry, so we're gonna get him some food out here. Let me get you some pork, because I know that's your favorite.
Thank you very much.
Bridget! Send out an oinker for Argyle! Clang! God damn it! All right. Eroth, so you come into the tavern, and like a drunken dwarf kind of staggers out and kind of bumps into you on the way out, and he's like, get out of my way! And he's just covered with soot and dirt. It's looking like he just stepped out of the mine, but he's not like overly, you know, rough. He just kind of like you got in his way. He's like a New Yorker, you know.
Yeah.
So he kind of stumbles on past you, and you come into the broken Dagger. The bar is to the left, and you see a tall, very stout-looking blonde standing there, serving drinks to a half-orc and a Goliath. To the right side, you've got kind of an open area with a fire pit leading into a central chimney, lots of wooden tables, a couple of stalls. You can see a couple of elves that seem to be playing some type of a card game. You see another dwarf passed out on a table. And you see a very bubbly, very curvy redhead, long redheaded curls, and she's just kind of bouncing around. She's wiping down tables. She's trying to get a plate out from underneath the dwarf without waking him up, you know. And she's taking care of that. And just as you walk in, you see the blonde, shout something about a pig to the back wall, and you hear a pot clatter, and you hear somebody shouting like they just burned their hand or something like that.
I look around.
But real quick, I just want to say, Orphea, you've just woken up to the smell of fresh cooked chicken and bread. You're upstairs. You've got the best room upstairs. It's a single to itself. You've got your own wardrobe. You've got your own water basin. You pulled out all the stops for this place. But you're waking up and you hear commotion downstairs. Bridget's at it again. And for some reason, Yolanda is being really shouty this morning. So you'll have to investigate very soon. Okay?
Yeah, I will,
start getting dressed.
Start getting dressed, make morning toilet, and go down.
Okay. Eroth, so you've just walked in. What are you doing?
I look around with a slight look of disgust on my face, especially after the filthy dwarf just bumped into me. kind of brush off the dirt that got on my cloak. And I make my way to the actual bar area, giving the Goliath and half orc a wide berth just to put some distance in between us. Not saying I don't, trust them, but I trust them as far as I can toss them at this point. And I wait patiently for the woman to finish taking the orders and shout out, what she needs. And I make a gesture to get her attention.
Okay. So you're sitting at a table, not the bar.
No, I'm sitting at the bar on the other side, away from the half orc and Goliath.
Okay, so you're all the way down on the end of the bar, closest to the main door. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, so what are you wearing? Are you in your armor or in your travel clothes? What are you wearing?
Right now, just travel clothes with a light cloak over top. Armor's let's just say armor's in a chest near the main door.
Okay. It's got a little handle and a little wheelies on it. You kind of like Okay. So, but what do you look like? You look like a half elf, so you've got the pointed ears, like long hair, short hair. Kind of give me a
longish hair with kind of like a top knot going on in the back. Classic man bun. Slight tan to my skin. You can tell that I've spent long hours out in the sun. However, not long enough to be super dark. Light, so kind of brownish eyes, black hair, ears more rounded than pointed. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, great. So everybody's, you see this new traveler come in, vaguely half-elf heritage, sits very far at the end of the bar, and Yolanda spots him, and she's like, "Oh, another fresh face! Welcome to the Broken Tagger. I'm Yolanda. Is there anything I can get for you? If you've just gotten off the wagon, as it looks, I would say you're probably pretty hungry. Would you like some breakfast? We've got chicken, we've got pork, or a nice side of bread, or perhaps you'd like something a little more stiff to wake you up, just like my Goliath gentleman over here."
Oh, no, thank you. I don't drink. It's not my style. Do you have a nice tall glass of fresh water, however?
We have some fresh water. I could also pour you some fresh milk. And I think I just got in some freshly squeezed apple juice. So non-alcoholic cider, if you'd like that too.
I will do some apple juice with some bread and cheese, please.
Okay. So she pours you a nice flagon of apple cider and brings out a little plate with, a nice block of a yellow cheese, a white cheese, and some bread with a knife. So she sets that in front of you. She says, "Thank you very much. That'll be 2 silver, please."
Okay, I drop a gold piece and tell her, keep the change.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and do that over here. And after my first sip of non-alcoholic apple cider, I ask if there's anything of interest in the town or any people I should, make myself known to. See if she knows where I need, see if she knows who I need to know.
She's like, "Well, I'm not sure what your business is. Are you looking for the city guard? Are you looking for the Azure Truth? Are you here to see some of the merchants, perhaps?" Oh, and then she kind of looks a little conspiratorially, and she leans in and says, "Are you here about that curious customer with the red cloak that's been seen down by the docks?"
I'm interested about this. What could you tell me more about him?
She kind of looks around. She's like, it's just a rumor, just some, unfounded discussions about some curious goings on around the docks, and that people, some person in a red cloak seen near the same time. But I don't really, I'm gonna go check on my friend's chicken. So I'll be right back. So, and she heads into the back, and as soon as she pushes open the door, there's another clang. What? And she's like, God, Bridget. And she goes in, and you hear them kind of talking to each other. Okay, so you're enjoying your cheese and your cider. Argyle is finishing his very heavy, very strong drink. Vasago is waiting for his chicken. Orphea, you may make your entrance. There's a set of stairs on the far side of the room, so the stairs are opposite the fire pit from the bar. So you are at the farthest side of the room that you can get from the bar. So you will come down the stairs and you will see the rest of the room in front of you. Again, you see the two elves playing cards. Again, you see a passed out dwarf and the redheaded Saffron, cleaning around him. She sees you. She smiles. She's like, "Morning, Orphea." And you see
how are you?
A few new faces. You see a couple of new faces and a familiar half orc at the bar.
Okay, that would be rich. New faces in the bar at this hour. Can I spot that Arod is from the Knights of Guidance or not?
Okay. Let me check. What's your perception?
0.
No. You
okay.
Passive perception, so 10 plus 0. But
10.
Anyway, he's not wearing anything to identify his station. He's not wearing his armor. He doesn't have his shield. So you don't really catch that. You can just you kind of get a sense that this guy probably just arrived recently. The Goliath, who you haven't seen any Goliaths in this area in the couple of months that you've been here. So he's a fresh face, but he smells like salt water. So he probably just came off of a ship. Argel, you've seen around the Pengrove Mountains. You see him usually out there collecting herbs and berries. He's kind of an alchemist of sorts, and he tries to make potions and sells them to the best of his ability. He's kind of like a street vendor in town. He's also one of the few half orcs that are common to the town, and he has a room upstairs near yours. Not as fancy as yours, and maybe he was even a little jealous that you got the big room. But you guys you've passed. You have a passing notion of each other.
Okay.
But so you come downstairs, and as you're crossing the room, what are you doing? Are you going right up to anybody? Are you talking to anybody? Are you talking to Saffron? What's your plan?
I think I'm just checking the passed out dwarf if he's alive, because I know that there are some accidents, let's say, with the dwarves in the mine. I'm just checking if he's alive and breathing. I leave him be.
Okay, so
I greet everyone.
Go up to the dwarf and give me a medicine check.
Okay.
So again, and like Saffron has just finished extricating the plates and cups and wiping on the table. She's like, literally, you can see the crumbs accumulated around his beard and arm where he's kind of like passed out on this table, and she has like gotten as close as she can without actually touching him. So the rest of the table's clean, but there's this like 1-inch barrier of crumbs and dust around him.
Okay, how do you roll skills in this?
How do you roll what?
Skill check.
Okay, so you should just be able to bring up. So do you have a full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the box with the number in it?
Yeah.
You should just click on that.
Okay, it's not rolling. It's just sending me weird.
Okay, I see Vasago just rolled an intimidation check.
Okay. Yeah.
I tried that out, so I heard it. So
that's weird. Okay.
Okay, let me try and roll it for you, and let's see if this works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can manage.
All right, that worked. So I can see you.
Yeah. Okay, I will find it.
Yeah,
In the
that's.
minute.
I'm not sure what setting that might be because I can roll for you. So anyway, so you got an 8. You're not really skilled in medicine. You can tell he's just passed out. He's breathing. He's not dead.
Okay,
He's
that's
probably
okay.
just you can smell alcohol in his breath. You can tell he probably had one. Or you don't recognize this dwarf. You're familiar with the head of the dwarves. She's the one you deal with the most in doing the survey. She's very particular about the measurements and everything like that. So she gets on you about, are you sure that mountain is so tall? And you're like, yes, I checked it twice. But this guy you don't recognize, but he's probably just one of the miners. And he's passed out, so no problem. And Saffron just kind of like gives you a little shrug. She's like, I tried to wake him, but and she takes her plate and heads into the back.
Yeah, it will take some time. No worries. He will be fine.
So Aroth, if you're looking around the room, you will notice this young half-elf female come down, and she's like checking out the dwarf that's passed out near the redhead, and she looks very familiar.
Yes. After I've noticed her, I stand up and raise my hand in a greeting, and I shout, Victoria! To see,
Okay. Not quite good pair, but let's go with that. I'm Orphea. You probably know my sister.
Wait, y'all look so similar. I'm so sorry about that. I just saw your sister in the capital. I thought you were her.
I get that a lot.
I'm so sorry. However, since I have you in front of me, I reach into my travel cloak and I pull out the letter. And your sister wanted you to have this. I have no clue what it is. She just said it was important for you.
Okay,
he hands you a little piece of parchment. It's got a wax seal that you recognize as your sister's personal wax seal. She's not really of a station to have a seal. It's not like a noble, anything like that. It's just something that she carved her own little wooden seal because she wanted to feel fancy.
Yeah. That sounds like her.
So it's a stylized V, and it's pressed into a green wax.
Okay. Yeah. So I take this letter. You know what? And I put it on the bar and just yell to the kitchen, like, Jolanda, please, I need some eggs.
And you see the blonde Yolanda poke her head out, eggs, and then you hear another clatter, eggs too. God damn. Yeah, no problem, Orphea. I'll take care of it personally. And the door shuts.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
Another pot clatters.
Dive. So, my good sir, I am Orphea, and you are?
My name's Aroth. I'm with the Knights of Guidance. I've come here looking for you, and
okay, I roll my eyes once again as I think that he might know my other sister also. That will be fun.
He does indeed know your other sister.
Indeed.
Aroth is actually less familiar with Camilla because she's been so busy in her initial training and everything like that. So he has more of a passing awareness of her, but it's the same knighthood, and she's just not as far along in her training as he is.
Okay. So after a sip of cider and just beginning to eat, I will open the letter and check what she wants this time.
Okay. So Argal, you spot your bunkmate, your fellow resident of the tavern, Orphea. She's been in town for a couple of months. You know that she's a cartographer. She's working very heavily with the dwarves. She'll go out for days at a time, and sometimes you spot her, up on a hill with like a weird tripod thingy, like, and measuring stuff, taking a lot of notes. She's very meticulous. She does a lot of writing. And you have a passing awareness of each other, considering you live right across the hall from one another. You're like dorm mates, but you don't really hang out much. Okay. So the letter. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
As I am a little tipsy from my drink, I see that she checked on the dwarf, and I'm naturally suspicious because I think the dwarves, I see that there are more and more of them, and I think they want to move in and start mining, and I really don't like that because it's going to ruin my mountain, so it's going to ruin my plans. So I approach her and ask her, why did you check on that dwarf?
So just as you're opening the letter, Argyle comes up to you.
Yep.
Yeah, no hello, no nothing, just...
Yeah, he might need its help. Just pass out, but you always check on people if they are not dead.
It would be more helpful for us if they weren't here.
Yeah, that's... You know what? I think there is some there are some changes you can't avoid, and they are just doing their job.
I just go, pah. Then I notice the letter in her hands.
Okay. So are you gonna proceed to read the letter, or are you gonna like keep it like, this is private, go away?
No, it's from my sister. It's nothing private. She needs she means business in that letter, definitely. So I don't mind, just to go back to reading.
Okay. So the letter starts out, "Dear sister, I hope you are well in the unfettered wildlands that you've chosen to place yourself upon." Your sister never really understood your love of like the nature and the trees. She's a city girl. So it starts off with this kind of flowery, backhanded compliment about how's your trees? Meet any good bushes lately? But then it kind of gets into it, and she says, "It's recently come to my attention of a local myth in Nightingale Harbor, where I know that you're currently working. And it's said that at an abandoned mansion where an alchemist used to live and was on the verge of learning how to transmute items into gold. And it's said that he disappeared many decades ago, and that his house still remains abandoned and ignored, and there might be a hidden tome of knowledge, possibly several books that would be beneficial to someone like myself. I hear it's not far out of town. If you could investigate and get back to me, I would appreciate it. It's said to be haunted, but I'm sure that's nothing."
Okay, I fold it and I just turn around. Argyle, you are from right here, yeah?
That is correct.
Yeah. Is there any haunted, alchemical, abandoned mansion around? Do you know something like this?
There is a legend.
Do you know
yes.
where it is? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Could you tell me more about it?
There is a legend about it. It is rumored that sailor may see light. Yes, it was the home of the grand alchemist. He has allegedly learned how to create gold, although this is a... People avoid it because you have sounds, they say maybe it is the master, maybe it is his apprentice. Sailors sometimes see lights coming from it when they sail, around it. It's quite close to the sea. I could guide you there, but I doubt you will find anything of it, although you never know. Maybe if you could find a sailor or someone who lived from the sea, he could confirm if he saw anything suspicious from the sea. But I definitely there.
I hear them talking
Do you have
about
any friends that could help, just in case things do turn out to be bad, and how is
Okay, Robert, you're cutting out a lot, and your video has frozen. So if you can turn off your video, maybe that will help with our bandwidth. I got everything. I think I got most of what you were saying. I understand you're asking about a sailor. You pointed out that the mansion is on the cliffs
yes.
near the town, and that we heard about the lights that have been seen by certain sailors. That the mansion itself is said to be haunted. There have been haunting screams that have been heard. Whenever like kids try to go dare each other to go check it out, there's some monsters and stuff that scare them off, but there's just no really solid information about what is going on up there. Again, you also heard the rumor that maybe if the alchemist himself is gone, maybe his apprentice has taken over and is just trying to keep people away while he continues his research. I like that.
Yes.
Now, Vasago, you overheard this conversation and you heard Argel talking about possible lights from a mansion. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Hold up. 15.
Okay. You do recall, as the ship was limping into port a couple nights ago, there was this old craggy house that was dark. You saw an old tree nearby and like some crumbled walls. And just as it was getting dark, you did see some strange repeating lights coming from one of the top floors. But it was again, like through the haze and the fog, it was hard to tell exactly what was going on.
I heard him talking about that, and so you hear about that old mansion out there. I saw some lights going in some patterns. But it was hazy and a lot of mists, so I couldn't see exactly. But there was some lights there. You're wondering.
Oh, so it's not it might not actually be abandoned.
I don't know for sure, but it's possible it isn't abandoned. So you want to go there?
Yeah, definitely. So I have a few days off, so that's a nice change from measuring mountains and bushes and trees. I hate when she's right.
All right. So Aeroth, you hear Orphea, reading the letter and talking with Argel, who is a half orc, who seems to know quite a bit about this area, possibly a local. And you hear them talking with, then suddenly the Goliath kind of jumps in and he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw lights at this strange haunted location." So how do you want to follow up with what they're talking about?
Let's see. I'm going to jump in and be like, lights? Could it be possible this is a ship that's taken up residence, or a crew that's taken up residence at this location? I've heard rumors that there's some nefarious things going out on sea pertaining to a certain group. I just want to make sure with y'all, if it's okay with y'all, I would like to join and make my own investigation of this.
I have nothing against it. I mean, the big guy, I think he can handle himself in combat, but another blade would be welcome.
Mm-hmm. So every blade is welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. You are welcome, as every night would be.
All right. So just as you guys are kind of like shaking hands and officially introducing, exchanging names and saying, well, when should we leave? Or Aroth, you need to drop out. You need to get a room, drop off your stuff, get changed.
Yes.
Argel, you know exactly where this is. It's about 3-hour hike out of town, unless you guys want to get horses, which could take shave it down to about an hour. But that's up to you. But as you guys are starting to discuss this, Yolanda comes back with 2 big heaping trays, one with like cheese and fresh bread that smells lovely, and like a big piece of pork. And on the other hand is a full chicken with like a whole big stack of mashed potatoes. Okay. And she serves that in front of Vasago, and she puts the rest down, and she's like, I'll be right back with your eggs. I've only got 2 hands. And she goes back in the back, comes back out with a plate of eggs, just the way you like them. And how do you like your eggs, Orphea?
Scrambled. Just big pot, big bowl of scrambled eggs with fresh bread in it, some butter. Just simple. It's a breakfast. It should be make you go for a day.
Exactly. So you all have your nice meal. You exchange pleasantries, getting to know each other. So what is our next thing? Is there anything else you want to do in town, or do you just want to skip to arriving outside the mansion?
Arriving.
Mansion? Yes?
Mansion.
I was going to say I definitely want to get a room and pay for that and do all that before we go. But yeah.
Okay, no problem. Say, we just had a nice centaur gentleman move out yesterday. So we do have a free room. And Argel, the centaur that she's talking about is very. It was always awkward him like clumping up the stairs because this building isn't really designed for centaurs. But he was a nice enough guy, and wasn't too.
One moment.
Sure, take your time. So he gets his room set up, gets changed into his nice armor. Now, Orphea, you can see that he's got the symbol of the knights that your sister is a member of, the Knights of Guidance. Argel, you're aware of the Knights of Guidance as a popular knighthood throughout Madridan. They're often treated as like special investigators. They're not mercenaries per se. They work with within the law. But they are often sent out on like special missions and such.
Kind of like inquisitors?
A little bit. So, now you're like, what's this guy doing in my town? It's like, if he's here, he must be here for a reason. Okay, so you got yourself a room upstairs. You got changed. You guys are all fed up. It is about noon, and you guys can head out. Do we just want to fast forward?
I'm just on the way. I would just be bothering, the Goliath, like poking him about why he's in town. Yeah.
Okay. So Vasago, Orphea, this little, she's like 2 heads shorter than you. Cute little half elf. She's like pestering you, like, so where are you from? What you doing here? Blah 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 blah.
Hey sailor, what's your story?
Well, opportunity to make it much money at where I live, so I owned Oliver Norton. And did you see that ship that had a broken mast?
Yep.
Harbor?
Yep.
That ship that's the ship I come with, so it needs repairing. So the captain told me to have some alone time and help. So right now so the lights at the coast, and now found out that towards this mansion, and I really wanted to know more about that mansion. So,
Also, Visago, part of your cover story for snooping about town from the captain is that you're looking for new crew. You're not really looking for new crew, not exclusively, but if people are like, why aren't you down helping out repair the ship? You're vetting new crew members. Did you get that, Visago? Good to go? Okay. All right, I'm going to
find a new crew for...
Okay, just a quick question. Do I smell bullshit?
give me an insight check.
Yeah.
Hey, you figured it out.
Yeah, I did. In the meantime, I don't. Okay.
No, he speaks kind of slow, and you know, you can't really sense any deception or anything awkward about it. He just seems like he's trying to collect his thoughts as he speaks, and it seems just endearing.
Yeah, so seems like straight shooter. No
Yeah,
problem.
pretty straight. Good to go. Okay, so you guys head away from town. This is you go past, you know, some farms and such like that. You know, Argel, you wave to, you know, the random peasant, and they wave back because, you know, they're happy to see you. Even Orphea, you're starting to recognize faces along the way. Aeroth is like clanking along with you, you know, in his heavy armor.
Exactly like my sister.
Right. So a couple hours to the north, and you know, the trail, you kind of like turn off of the main road to like a lesser traveled road, and now you're heading towards the sea itself, and then you turn left, and you're traveling along kind of a beach, but it's starting to slope up, and the cliffs are starting to form, right? And you can now see through the trees, you can see the top of this mansion in the distance. It's got kind of a gothic-y Addams Family house on Haunted Hill kind of look to it, you know. There are still some trees nearby, but as you get closer, you can see that it's just overgrown and unkempt. Now the path is completely overgrown. There is like what used to be kind of like an entryway, you know, like flanked by bushes and such, you know, like I'm sure 20 years ago it was a beautiful garden, but now it's just kind of like this, you know, the grass is like grown up on the path, and you're just tracking along. So I'm going to switch cameras and give you guys a little overview here. All right. So can everybody see that map?
Yep.
Now, if you click on it, you should be able, if you change views, you should be able to focus on just the map. If you click on focus view. Now, can you read better backstories there in the corner, or is it reversed?
It is okay for me.
Yeah.
I can see it.
It's reversed for me, which is frustrating, but we'll go through it. So these squares are 30-foot square. Okay, so this is not the standard 5-foot grid that you're used to. Okay, so the house is about 90 feet long. You know, you can see there's about 3 stories, surrounded by you know, a high 6-foot broken fence, and this is you guys, the whole party, kind of like just making your way up the path. So it's about 3 in the afternoon as you guys are arriving. It's kind of become overcast now. So we've got, you know, some light cloud cover. It doesn't really look like it's threatening to rain, but it's just not bright sunlight. Again, the kind of path leading up into the opening, you can see an old rickety metal gate that is, you know, open and just falling off of the walls and just kind of collapsed at the entrance here. This is all just kind of like overgrowth forest and such like that. And if you get closer, you'll be able to see more details of the courtyard itself. So what do we want to do as we approach?
For me, I just want to look around to see if there's any evidence of people being there recently, or like recent activity, basically.
Okay. You're looking for tracks on the path?
Yes.
Okay, give me a survival check.
Give me one moment. And that's going to be a 9.
All right, I see that. No, again, this you've got like there's an old path, but it is like overgrown with grass and stuff. And as you guys are walking through it, it doesn't look like anything, more than animals have maybe used this thing, like maybe deer and such. But the grass is undisturbed. It's like tall grass.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm just copying the building itself. I try to judge it if it will collapse when we get in, or is it safe enough?
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay. 6.
Again, from here you can tell that it's not a super sturdy structure. It looks like maybe part of the roof has collapsed slightly. It has weathered many storms and many winters without any. The paint is peeling. Some of the shutters are falling off. It is not in good condition, but it still looks sturdy. I mean, it's still standing. So I'm sure it won't collapse if you touch it.
Okay.
Okay. Vasago?
Get closer and check if the gate is fallen right.
Okay. So as the party approaches, there's 2 metal gates that are fallen down. They were mounted and now they have collapsed and they are just kind of laying on the ground here.
Try to get past them and get closer to the house to see where there are some doors.
Okay.
Argeltal would like to speak.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm just pulling the party together. I'm visibly nervous and I'm going, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you can see the building. It is clearly a health hazard. I propose that we all enter by order of weight, because the floorboards might give in. That makes me third.
I would agree to that. I go in first, okay? I'm the biggest.
Okay.
It's totally about safety, not about avoiding danger.
So I'm putting your actual pegs here. This is your marching order. So Vasago's up front, and then Aeroth, then Argaltal, and then Orphea taking up the rear.
Okay.
So the door to the house is closed or not?
Well, again, you're just at the gates. These are 30 feet. So, you can see that in the back, there's like what looks like a doorway. And you kind of get the idea. This is more the front of the house facing the cliffs. You can see there's like a little overhang, with like some, like a little bit of a porch. Mm-hmm. So you'll have a choice. These, as you guys kind of step in through the gates, you see down to the south here is like a big overgrown rose bush, covered in thorns and roses and such along the wall. The wall again is crumbling in various areas. To the north here is what looks like overgrown gardens. So you've got like peas that have grown up and started to vines that have started to tear the wall apart. They're vaguely in rows, but again, they've just kind of like gone wild, mixed with other plants and such like that. And they're all along here. You can see the remains of a well here. This is a large tree. And then again, more bushes and such. So you've really kind of got 2 different paths to attempt here. So are you guys moving through the gates, through the wall, entering the garden?
Yeah. Definitely, yes. And I would like to pick because I like the good story, and I think in Haunted Mansion you have to do it. I just pick one rose and put it in my by my shirt.
Okay. So just as you kind of like step over to the rose bush to pick a rose, as the others are moving forward, trying to pick a direction, you're looking at the trees, you're looking at the building. You pluck a rose, and the whole bush shudders, and suddenly 4 big balls of fur come rushing out of the bush and charge at the party. So everybody roll initiative.
Okay. Yeah, I knew you should do that.
Okay, so Argel Tall got a 1.
Not very lucky with the
Orphea got a
dice.
17.
17.
Yeah, see? Anytime I want to type in stuff, I lose the game log. Oh, wait, I can lock it. There we go. That's what I want to do. Okay, Visago got an 18. Good. And Aeroth got a 9. Good.
Not so good.
You are a knight. Get used to that.
Okay. And I rolled initiative for the creatures. Okay. So we're going to do this Theater of the Mind. This should be a pretty short encounter, so I'm not going to go really crazy with a full-on map. But you guys are basically in your line, just as Orphea, was passing the bush. 4 creatures appeared out of the bush.
Okay.
And they are going to and they look like giant possums or possibly weasels. They're big, long, furry creatures. They're very large. They're almost the size of like a Newfoundland dog or a Great Pyrenees. These are like big dog size. They're at least as big as Orphea.
Oh, shit.
All right, so Visago, you see these 4 creatures appear out of the bush, kind of behind you. What are you doing?
I draw my scimitar and rush and attack is closest to Argental.
Okay, so you kind of step over. Go ahead and give me an attack. Okay, that
22.
hits. Yeah, totally hits. Roll damage. 8. Okay, so you skewer the first one. You pretty much run it right through, and it's like, and it kind of falls down. It is bloodied. It is really hurting, but it's just barely holding on. Okay. Do you want to move any more?
You stay right there.
You stay there?
I move 1 bit down so Arut can come and move.
So you want to move 1 south here? Okay.
That's better.
Next is Orphea.
Okay. So what I would like to do, I would after I scream, like at first, I just remember to cool myself and to get into battle mode. So I draw a rapier, and I will stab him. As in my next round, I will be drawing the dagger.
Okay.
And I step on the side to make more room for my friend. Yeah. More. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. 13.
Just hits.
6 damage.
All right.
Piercing.
So you stab that one, and again you skewer it. It snarls at you. So you can see these yellow teeth. It's clearly hungry.
Oh shit!
And it's bloodied, but it's not down.
Okay.
All right, Aeroth. I can't hear you, Aeroth.
I'm sorry, I forgot I was muted.
There you go.
I'm going to move to the one that says 3. Yeah, that one. And draw my longsword and make an attack on it.
Okay.
One moment. Let's
Okay, so number 3 is the one that Visago attacks, so it's already wounded.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do the roll to attack. Going to be a 1 plus the strength, correct? Which is 2. So that's 3.
Well, okay, if you just click on your sword on your weapon, it should allow you to roll the weapon itself, rather than rolling a d20. You should just be able to click on the box with the modifier on it that says like +3, +5, whatever your attack bonus is.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it on mine. I've opened up the longsword and I got the to hit override.
Hold on, let me pull it up myself.
Okay. Hey, what are you doing?
All right, and you're on a PC, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can see your actions and it says longsword, so underneath the hit/DC, it should say +4, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was in the completely wrong place.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so 12 to hit. Okay, so you go in to swing at this furry weasel creature, and it sees it because of all the other action that's been happening. It sees you coming, and it already got hit once. It's not going to do it again, so it ducks under, and you just like catch the fur over its head as it ducks under you, and you just miss.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm, if it's possible, I'm going to raise my shield in preparation for an attack.
Okay. So yeah, you've got your shield. You're using your sword one-handed. Remember that for later.
Yes.
Okay. So now is the weasels' turn. So first is number 1, the one that attacked, that Orphea attacked. It's going to try to bite back at you.
Yeah, I figure.
Okay, that's a 21 to hit.
That hits.
That hits. Yep.
Oof.
6 points of damage.
Okay, that hurts.
So I don't have everybody. What's everybody's maximum hit points? What's your maximum hit points?
9.
Yours is 9. Okay.
13.
13.
Arkeltal has 9.
9. Okay.
Eroth has 11.
Okay. Okay. So that's a pretty sturdy hit. It is going to shift a little bit here and then here, and Argeltal, you get a attack of opportunity on that weasel.
I am going to use my quarterstaff, which I am using as a walking stick.
One-handed or two-handed?
Two-handed.
Okay. Okay, that hits. Roll for damage.
Okay.
Bam! And it is dead.
Yay.
That's a weasel.
Okay, so that weasel
Boom goes
falls.
the weasel.
I mean, it was barely holding on anyway, but you kind of like shattered its back and it collapses. Okay, so the next weasel here sees its buddy, suddenly fall. It's gonna move up to here and attack you, Argeltal.
Okay.
That's a 9 to hit.
I compare it with my armor class. Is that correct?
Correct.
It is a 9.
Your armor class is 9?
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
I am wearing leather armor, leather light armor.
Yeah, you should have your... Wow. Oh, your dex is -2. That's why. Okay, so he matched your AC. So if you equal or greater, then he hits you.
Okay.
Okay, so he's going to roll for damage. He also does 6 points.
Okay. I'm gonna apply the damage on my character.
That's right. Okay, so
There you go.
Weasel number 3 is up next. He's the one that Visago already hit. And he is going to take a swipe at Aeroth.
Okay.
That hits. A little bit of damage. Oh, big damage. 7 points.
7 points of damage.
And then he's kind of stuck there, so he's not going to move. And then the last one is going to attack Visago. 19 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, damage. All right, 4 points of damage. So you got off lucky there. All right, and now Argaltal, it is your actual turn. So you've got 2 weasels. You got the one that bit you. You've got this one, number 3, is kind of hurting. He's like on his last leg. The other 2 have not been injured.
I would like to cast a spell on the one that bit me.
Okay.
I want to cast poison spray.
Okay.
I just roll for effect.
Hold on. Let me pull up the spell. Poison spray. Okay, so this is a DC. So he has to roll to try to avoid the effect. He's rolling his Constitution to see if it affects him. So
Okay.
let me roll his con save. Okay. You kind of like spray at him, but he kind of like, you can see he actually like kind of ducks a little bit, avoids the spray, and kind of like rubs dirt on his face and coughs a couple times, and then just looks at you angrily. So it doesn't.
And I know I'm in trouble. Then, if it is possible, I want to. Can I attack again?
No, poison spray was your action.
Okay.
And I'm looking at your actions. Do you have any bonus actions?
No.
No, you don't have any bonus actions, and you don't have any bonus spells. Now, be sure to mark off that you used your one spell, because your pack magic. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a cantrip. Yeah, you can use that as many times as you want. But hold on.
Okay.
You should have 2 regular spells as well, not just cantrips. You should also have 2 first-level spells. So maybe look into your spell list and add and learn a couple of regular spells as well. But you can only cast 1 per short rest.
Okay, understood.
Cool. Okay, back around to the top of the initiative. Visago, you are up. The one that's right in front of you is not wounded. The one to your left is the one you already hit. And they both have bitten. Everybody's been bitten at this point and hurting. So what you going to do?
Can I attack number 3? Or is it too far away?
No, it's within 5 feet,
Yeah,
so you can still attack it.
Yeah, attack number 3.
Just misses.
10.
So, you're kind of in close quarters. You've just been bit. You've got this other weasel that's kind of like harrying you, and Aeroth is like right next to you. So, you swing at it with your sword, and it just doesn't connect. Now, you can, if you move away, he gets an attack of opportunity, but he could miss. And if you move here, they both get an attack of opportunity. But so it's probably best you stay where you are.
I stay where I am.
Okay. Orphea?
Okay, I go. I drag. I take my dagger also. So
Now you
I
can
will
use
fight
both
with
two
two
weapon
weapons.
fighting.
Yeah. Once again?
Attacking number 2.
No. I want to go one step forward between them. Yeah. To the number 3. Yeah. And attack with the bonus action with I attack with dagger.
Well,
to number
you gotta
3.
attack. Well, first you're going to attack with the rapier. Which one are you attacking with the rapier?
Okay, this then number 2 with the rapier. That's a miss.
That's a miss, yeah.
And then in the bonus action, I will attack number 3 with the dagger.
Okay.
11.
That also misses. So again, it's just nothing. It's blood and fur.
Yep.
You know, they're just running around. These guys are they're in a frenzy now, so they're just really quick and kind of hard to hit. All right, Aeroth.
Okay.
I'm determined to kill this.
Wait. I'm sorry. I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Orphea, go ahead and re-roll the second attack, the dagger attack, because he's flanking you.
12 to hit.
Still just missed. Okay. So, Aeroth, you can attack number 3 with advantage. It means you roll, if you're using the character sheet, when you hover over the number, if you hold shift, it should give you a little plus dice, and that allows you to roll with advantage. So if you attack number 3, you'll have advantage.
Okay. I held shift and clicked, but then it do it for me. So I'm going to roll once more.
That's fine. Okay. Well, yeah, the 22 hits. It's not a critical, but that's fine. He's only got 1 hit point left, so I'm not even going to have you roll damage. But he's down and gone. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Do you want to move, a step in, or whatever? If you move away from number 4, he gets an attack of opportunity.
Let's step into him and set up for another attack.
Okay. Orphea, as you see that weasel go down, you could... no, never mind. If you moved away from this one, you'd get attacked. But you could move back around here to give Argel Tall flanking on his next attack if you want.
Yeah, if I can.
Okay. So you kind of see that one go down. You're like, good job, Aeroth. And then you kind of dance around the other one to help out Argel. Okay. So number 2 now is like, he sees he's got the 2 of you kind of, on either side. He's not sure what to do, but he is going to go ahead and try to bite Argel Tall. And that's a 16, so it will hit. And 6 damage.
That's -3. You're just down.
All right, you're not dead. Yeah, you're just unconscious. So, he bites you, again, you're just like, and just the pain is like so much. You've never really been in this kind of combat before. So you kind of, fall down and you're just, again, you're on the verge of you passed out. You're just kind of like a little bit out of it.
Okay. Let me put the damage too.
Yeah, post the damage on your thing. And when it comes around to your turn, we'll make your first death save. Okay. Weasel number 4. He's got, again, the 2 of you on either side of him. He's like, he's trying to decide who he's going to attack. And he is going to go for Vasago again.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 12 to hit.
12 hits.
12 does hit. Okay. Damage.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
Okay.
Now you're still up, right? All right. Argel Tall, go ahead and roll a death save. So if you look at your character sheet.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me figure out how to do. Let me go to your character sheet myself, and walk you through it. Oops. I went to the wrong spot.
I see HP management, but I do not see where what I could click, in order to make a death save.
Okay. So if you click on where it actually says death saves and it brings up HP management, just try rolling. Is there a B, a dice with a B on it right between failures and successes?
No dice.
Okay. Then just make a Constitution check.
Okay.
Not a Constitution save.
Check.
Yeah, check.
Yes. Rolling now. A 6.
6. Okay, so that is a failure. So go ahead and check 1 death failure.
Done.
Okay. So again, if you get 3 successes, you're back to 1 hit point. If you get 3 failures, you're dead. But hopefully, but if anybody hits you with some healing magic or shoves a healing potion down your throat, then you'll be fine. All right, Vasago, you're back up. You've got this guy right in your face, and he just bit you again. What are you gonna do?
I hit him with my scimitar.
Okay. And it just misses. He's pretty fast and wily. Do you have a second scimitar? Do you have 2 scimitars?
Strike.
Say that again.
And an unarmed strike.
Oh, unarmed strike would just be without a weapon. But if you had a second scimitar, you could equip both of them, and you could attack with your right hand and then again with your left hand. So I was just seeing if you had 2 scimitars.
Maybe you have a dagger.
Or a dagger, or an axe.
The scimitar and the longbow, so no.
Okay, no problem. Just checking.
But I have a bonus action that it's called a second. As a bonus action, I have second wind that I can regain, and 1d10.
Yes, you do.
Plus 1.
That's a good choice.
So
you can use that right now if you like.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that. But how do I?
You should just be able to click where it says 1d10 under second wind, and that should roll the d10. Yeah, let me try and roll it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Here you go. So that it rolled a 5 plus 1, so that's 6. So you get 6 hit points back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to check your second wind for you. So you've used it once, and you can't use it again until you've taken a short rest.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your turn.
Yep.
Do you want to move to try to maybe help out Aeroth with flanking?
Yeah, I'll go south and flanking, yeah.
Okay, Orphea?
I would like first I would like to bonus action healing word for Argaltel.
Okay. So what healing word? What words do you shout out? What do you sing, or what do you say to bolster?
Get up, you moron!
Argel, you hear these mystic words in the haziness of darkness that you find yourself, and it's like get up, you moron! And your eyes pop open, and you're laying on the ground next to this weasel as it's kind of like it's actually smiling at you, and you feel kind of like upset that it's happy. You pick up your dagger, but you're still laying on the ground, And because you're prone, you're not granting flanking to Orphea.
But I will go step up to get flanking from Arot
Good.
and attack with the rapier.
Okay, roll with advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still just with the shift. It's still rolling just one, so I will re-roll manually. 15.
Yes, second one hits. All right, roll for damage.
9.
You completely skewer it and kill it outright. Well done. Good job. All right,
Okay,
3 down, 1 to go. Aroth, you are up. This last weasel is looking angry and frantic that his family has been killed, and he needs to get revenge.
Okay, seeing that, everyone else has taken care of their weasels, I'm going to... Hold on. My son thought he was funny. He was... Go away. I'm going to take a swipe at this weasel and try to kill it once and for all.
Okay. So go ahead and roll twice for your longsword.
Okay, that's...
And they both still miss. He is just, again, he's just so filled with weaselly rage that he's just too nimble, and you can't get a hit on him.
Damn. Then do.
So you can move, or I think you might have some type of a bonus action.
It's 2.
You have your lay on hands, but that's an action. That's a full action. So no.
Yeah, healing cans would also be a full action too, right?
Healing what?
Healing cans. I got lay on hands and healing cans. Both are full actions.
That's right. You have the 2 different pools. Yeah, full action.
Okay, then yeah, I guess I'll go ahead in my turn for now.
Okay, you'll stay there and keep granting advantage to Vasilo or Vasago.
Yes.
All right, but it is the weasel's turn, and he has to decide who he wants to attack. So I'm going to go with high-low here. If it's high, he's going to go after Aroth. If it's low, he's going to go after Vasago. And it's a 2, so he's going after Aroth. And it's a natural 20.
I don't like you.
There goes my second healing word.
All right, so that's 3 plus 3, so that's 9 damage.
I really don't like you.
All right, so you are down and unconscious.
Shit.
And then Argel, it's your turn. So you see Aroth fall down after being bit very hard by this weasel. He's like, he went right for his jugular vein.
Okay, I would like to try and cast again acid spray.
Okay,
That's okay.
I think the range is you have to get closer for that. I think it's a 5-foot range.
Checking now. 10 foot. 10 foot range.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
So yes,
but so he is within 10 feet, and I guess since Aroth is already unconscious, it won't really matter. So you can do it from there if you want. Is it a cone or a line?
it's actually I'm disgusted about these creatures because they already they did so much damage, and they already made me unconscious. So what I'm doing, I'm saying magic words, and I just spit out a goblet of acid, and it burns my lips as it leaves.
Okay, so it's coming out.
A tiny ball of acid.
Okay, so it's a ball of acid spitting out of your mouth. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so he is going to go for. He's going to roll his Constitution. Natural 1, he is hit. So go ahead and roll a d12 damage.
Rolling now. 5.
Okay, so this ball of green acid, shoots out of your mouth, and he looks at you, and he hears the sound of you spitting, and it slams right into his face, and it bursts over his head in a puff of green smoke, and he's like, right. So it looks like a cat trying to get peanut butter off the roof of its mouth, And he's like his little paws, like an otter, are like batting at his face because that was disgusting. All right, Vasago.
And if I
go ahead.
If I can I get up?
Yes, you can use half your movement to get up, so that costs you 15 points. And if you want, you can step closer, standing over Argel, and grant Vasago flanking.
I will do that. I will do that.
There we go. So you're just straddling over him. All right, Vasago, you're up, and you can attack with advantage if you want. That is a hit.
16.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Boom. Dead.
9.
Dead weasel. Good job.
Yes.
All right. So everybody hears the Final Fantasy completion music. Da, 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 da. All right. So everybody gets 25 experience points for that.
Yay!
Okay. So now that we're out of combat, even though Aroth was, hurt and down at the moment, then it's assumed that you guys stabilize him and get him back up to kind of like 1 hit point. Does anybody have any healing potions already on them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Orphea still has healing. Aroth has lay on hands and healing. His other thing. He's got two different parts of healing. Argel, your death saves are canceled, so you're back up. Or Argel, so make sure that you
Argel.
put your
It's easy for you to.
put your hit points back up. But you guys are a little, you've been hit a little bit. You can take a break. You can take a short rest, which allows you to roll your hit dice to increase. It takes about 30 minutes of just kind of like taking a breath, bandaging your wounds, having a little bite to eat, and you can spend 1 hit dice. You only have 1 hit dice, but you can spend a hit dice if you want to bring your hit points back up. The other option is back to town, rest up, get some more supplies, maybe. It's up to you.
Let's see here. I'm just clicking around to see.
And remember, some of your abilities will recharge from this short rest. So Vasago, your second wind will recharge on this, so you will have healing. Your own internal healing later. But your hit dice don't regenerate until after a long rest, which is like an 8-hour overnight type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, I will go ahead do. I'm going to be sacrificial and do lay on hands on Orphea. She looks pretty damaged to me. Just to get her up to a decent.
Maybe let's do a short rest and see what it gives us, and then we will decide if we need some additional healing.
Right. The short rest allows you to use your own personal hit dice first, then see if anybody needs any additional healing.
Okay.
That's your best option. So everybody go ahead and roll your 1 hit dice. Well, whoever wants to. roll your hit die and see
Yeah,
how many hit points you get back, and then let me know where we are once you're done.
Okay. I don't know how to roll in the short rest. I can click take short rest, but I don't see the...
So if you got the short rest sidebar pulled up, right next to your class, it should say roll hit die.
No, it doesn't say roll.
Okay, I think I know what it is here. I've got an extra attachment in my Chrome called Beyond 20, and it's clearly giving me more options than you guys have. So let me try and turn it off really quick.
Quick suggestion, I opened it too, and I see that under my class name, I can tick something, then take a click on short rest. Maybe that rolls it automatically.
No, it doesn't. It just marks for you used dices.
Okay.
Okay, so
Then I'm going to do it like this. I've clicked it, and I'm going to roll the 1d10. And it's said to add one.
Yeah, so you guys can just either roll with using the custom roller in the left corner, which is the little dice that you click on, and it says how many or what kind of dice you want to roll, and then add the numbers manually, or you can roll physical dice and just let me know what you get.
I rolled on the D&D beyond, and I got a 3.
Okay, and then plus your con modifier or your level, I think.
I think that's
Oh, plus 3. So you got 6.
Constitution. That's
yeah. So I'm looking at your hit die, and it's a D10 plus 3. So you got a total of 6, Visago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but my top is 13.
Okay, so how much do you have right now total? I mean,
13. That's my max.
Right, but how many do you have? How much? So based on how much damage you took, plus the 6 that you just got back, what are you at? Are you maxed out?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because I used second wind.
That's right. And second wind is now available to you again. All right.
Yeah.
Marcin?
I'm at 5 now. I rolled a 1. Of 9. 5 of 9.
5 of 9. All right, Richard?
I did a 9 on my D10 plus the 1, so I'm full health again.
Good to go. Okay, Robert?
I'm sorry, what am I supposed to roll?
Okay, so if you click on short rest at the top, it should bring up a little sidebar and tell you hit die. And I think it's for you is like an 8.
1d8 plus 1.
Right, so roll a d8 and add 1. 7 plus 1.
1 plus 1.
Yeah, so you should be at full hit dice, right? Or full hit points.
Okay.
So now where it has underneath your class, it should have a little tick. So go ahead and mark that so that we know that you have used that hit die.
Okay. Did.
And then
taking a short rest, I'm assuming.
And then you haven't used any of you didn't use your pack magic spells yet. So you have to, so yeah, taking a short rest, it says in the game it says an hour. For me, I say 30 minutes, just because it's not severe. But you guys are kind of like, you just kind of sitting down, taking a rest. You're not lighting a fire or anything like that. You're just kind of like catching a breath, bandaging your wounds, having a quick bite to eat, talking about what happened. And is there any discussions you guys want to have during this rest?
Nothing that I can think of.
I'll bring the map back up. So again, you guys are still here near the entrance. I'm sorry that's out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
It was in focus earlier. So you can't do anything extreme, but you can like wander around the courtyard a little bit. Maybe circle the building. But I don't want you going inside until you guys have finished resting. So, like I said, up here, this is all like overgrown vegetables and like an old garden. This well looks serviceable. I mean, it's still got like a little cover on it and like what looks like a rope and a bucket. This is a tree. This is just kind of like grass and topiaries. There's a big fallen dead tree in the front yard here, almost falling off the cliff. And in the bushes, if you investigate the bushes, you see the burrow of the giant weasels where they were living. Like they've got their little underground nest, but there wasn't anything in it.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to go around that back area there, around the well and around the sides of the house to see if I can at least look into the house and see if I can see anything.
So like here?
Around the back.
The back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see there are windows on the first and second floors, but again, some of them are shuttered. Some of the shutters are falling off, but it's been so long. Like wind has blown dust onto the windows. The rain has caked it on. So you really, from where you are, without getting close and like actually like rubbing on a window, you can't see inside anything. It looks very dark and dank inside.
Could I go ahead and do that? Just go up to a window, kind of rub it, and.
All right. So like where at?
Yeah, right there where your pin's at, just around this corner, still staying inside the party in case anything does happen.
Okay, one sec. Okay, so you look in this. You kind of like rub the dirt off of this window here. It is a thick grime. It takes you a couple of tries, and you can see into a hallway. You can just see a door a little bit to your left, and the rest is just hallway. And again, it's so dark you can't really see any detail up or down the hall. It just looks abandoned.
Okay, and I can't do that one because it's a touch. I'm just going to continue walking around the outside and taking note of all the windows and all the possible exits and entrances. And
okay, so there's another window here. There's two windows here. There's a door that looks like it's kind of sort of fallen off its hinges. Actually looks like it was opened and not shut properly at some time in the recent past. There's two windows on this northern side here, and then the bushes start to get kind of heavy around here, but again there's just more windows. And this is another doorway with like a back landing, like a little back porch. So as you do that, what's everybody else doing?
Yeah, I think I will more circle around the front entrance, check if it's recently used, maybe.
Okay, lots of windows along this front path, but these bushes and trees have like grown up to block them. The front is a set of it's a single door that's got like just kind of like a small overhang with some columns that are like just. All the paint and everything is falling off of them. It just looks run down. These doors do not look like they have opened recently at all.
Okay, but are they opening or are they shut with the key or some lock?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
So you're just testing the door, giving it a little jiggle.
Okay, investigation. Shit, that's weird. Oh yeah. That okay. I installed the Beyond 20 in the meantime, and now when I roll, you can't see my rolls.
Okay, so you have to go in and you have to find there's a certain setting that you need to find
Yeah.
that will still use the dice
Yeah,
roller.
I can see.
Yeah, it's a couple.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what the setting is, but it can be tricky.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. But that's not the roll. Okay, but it's +2, the same modifier. So
9.
So 9.
Okay. So you just kind of try the door. It's not locked. The doors are old. It looks like it would come open very easily if you just gave it a yank.
Okay. I'm not doing it before we are all again gathered, and I don't want to tempt the fate.
Sure. All right, Argel, what are you doing while they're starting to? Aeroth is kind of exploring around this way. Orphea is kind of like checking the front door. What you up to?
I am checking out the well. I want to see if there is still water in it. If also I want to see if the rope is gone. If the bucket is all molded. I want to see if it has been used recently.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Sure thing.
Okay.
That's an 8. Okay.
You can see that there are like small animal remains, like mice and voles. There's like bones all scattered around the edge of the well. But there's a lot of tall grass around it. The well shaft looks like it goes down about 20 feet and looks like it's got clean water downside or down inside. The bucket is kind of like falling apart. It doesn't look like it itself would hold water. The rope is just rotted. If you even touched it, it would fall apart. But you do think you see the glint of something shiny down in the water.
Is there any way that I can lower myself in the well?
Yes, we'll get to that. Vasago. So Orphea has gone to the front. Aeroth has gone around the back. Argel Tal is like poking around the well. What are you doing?
The well as well. Through Argel.
Okay. How's everybody for time?
Yeah, I think I need to finish soon.
Okay. Let me do one last little thing. So you can tell, Argel, that the rocky interior has kind of like, since it's been so worn by weather and stuff, there's plenty of handholds. It's only about 8 feet across, so you could easily kind of like scamper your way down there if you wanted to.
Okay.
I'll get a rope.
You have a rope? Okay.
I want.
Yeah, I got a rope so I can help you lower yourself down if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Hey, big guy, think you can use that muscle and help me down?
Okay. So he ties a rope around your waist. He starts to lower you down. Just as you start to lower down, you hear a loud hiss, and something snaps out at you.
Okay.
Here we go again.
So a rather large,
pull me back.
A rather large green snake has like snapped out at you from the wall of the well, but it just misses you.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, you're a 9. Your AC is 9. It does hit you. Eight points of damage.
How many?
8.
Fuck.
I just had to be curious.
All right. So Vasago, you hear this hiss, and he's like, "Pull me back out." Give me a strength check, Vasago.
Check. 2 plus 3, 5.
Yep. Okay. So you're just like, weren't expecting it. You're like, okay, he's going down into the thing, and your hands kind of slip, and he doesn't come back up right away, so he's still dangling there. The two of you go ahead and roll initiative. Orphea and Aeroth, give me perception checks.
I am blind, probably. 11.
Okay, well, you hear a shout coming back from the area of the well. Aeroth, you definitely hear that Argel is in some type of distress.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to abandon what I'm doing and rush back to see what's going on and see if I can help.
Me too.
Okay, so you two start making your way back over to the thing. The first snake is going to take a snap again at Aeroth and miss. A second snake is going to snap and miss. So you are just like crazy surrounded right now. So Visago, you're next.
Yeah.
So you can see these two green snakes are like trying to snap at him inside the pit, but he's just like wiggling and writhing around. You can try and yank him back out again, or you can drop him and grab your sword and take a swipe down into the pit or into the well.
Pick him up.
Yank him up. Okay, give me another strength check.
I think that's enough. not natural one.
It is a natural one. So one thing I want to point out is that natural ones are only a confirmed failure on an attack. If it's a skill check or anything else like that, a natural one is not always absolute failure. It's only for attacks that matters.
Okay.
Total of 4.
I saw that. All right, so you're tugging at him, but it's like he's got his shoulder is kind of like caught down there, and he's just not moving. Argel, what are you doing?
I am actually gonna pull my dagger if I can, and I'm gonna try to cut the rope.
You're gonna cut the rope.
I want to fall down in the well.
Okay.
Yeah,
easy
I
enough.
want to try that.
That's easily done. You pull your dagger, you cut the rope. All of a sudden, Visago, you lose. You're like tugging on him as hard as you can. He's got his shoulder wedged against the rocks, and then all of a sudden, the rope goes slack. You fall back on your butt, and you hear a splash. All right, so Argyle, you are now 20 feet down in about hip deep water, and these two snakes are like above you, looking down. Aeroth.
Is there?
Go ahead, Argyle.
Okay.
Argyle, you had a question?
No.
Okay. All right. So Aeroth, you come running over. You see, just as you come over to get to the edge of the well, Visago was tugging on this rope, but then all of a sudden the rope went slack and he fell back on his butt just next to the well. What are you doing?
Okay.
You can run up to the edge of the well and look down inside.
I'm going to look down inside to see first if Argel is okay, and second, see if I could possibly use my rope to get down in there to bring him back up.
Okay, you look down into the pit, and you can see Argel down at the bottom, about 20 feet, and he's looking up at you with the dagger in hand, rope tied around his waist, and limp, which he clearly cut. But there's also two green snakes about the size of your arm coming out from the walls. They're about 5 feet down, and they're kind of like looking down at him and hissing angrily.
Okay, then I'll draw my longsword and see if I can rake it around the sides to try to slice the snakes in half.
Go ahead.
Let's do this. 22.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
Let's do this. 9.
Very big hit. You lop one of their heads off. It go, the head falls down. Argel, a snake head bounces off your face, and then a snake body lands in the water next to you.
Okay.
Okay, Orphea, you were a little further away, so you're kind of like coming around this tree here, and you see Aeroth kind of like swinging down into the thing. Vasago is on his butt with a bundle of rope at his feet, kind of like, what the hell just happened? Do you want to cast a spell or say anything or shout?
Yeah, I want to shout to Vasago, get up, you fool, and do something useful, and give him bardic inspiration with that.
All right, so Vasago, you have a D6 at your disposal to add to a skill check or an attack, and it lasts for about a minute, but you only get the one dice.
Yep.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to come back around to the remaining snake. Again, we're going to go high-low. High, it's going to snap up at Argel or at Aeroth. Low, it's going to go down towards Argel. And that's high, so it's going to come up at Aeroth.
Thank God.
And missed. Okay, so Aeroth, you lop the head off of this one snake, and then the other one looks up at you and snaps out, tries to get your hand, but you pull your sword and arm back out of the way just in time, and it ends up bumping its head into the wall. And now it looks up at you, and it's angry, and you can see its big fangs dripping with green poison. So it's a good thing it didn't get you.
Yeah, very good.
All right, Vasago. You're right next. You're on the ground next to Aeroth. He reached in and did something, and now he's yanked his hand back out of the well.
I want to stand up, take my longbow, and try and draw and hit the snake.
Go for it.
Six plus 5, 11.
At this point, you can decide that you are using my inspiration die.
And I use that as
so
inspiration.
Roll another d6.
That's a 6,
Boom.
so 17.
All right. So empowered by Orphea's, insistent leadership shout, you pull back and sight this thing in, and just you're about to fire, but then a split second later, you move an inch to the left, you release, and thoop, the arrow goes right through the thing's head, and it falls limp on top of Argel. Dun, 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 dun.
Yay!
All right.
We
Good job.
did
So,
it.
Argel,
We
you're at the
did
bottom
it.
of a well in hip-deep water with two, again, snakes that are like 3 or 4 feet long, like the thickness of your arm, lying dead in the well next to you. What are you doing?
I want to look around to see if I can see some kind of cavern or tunnel, because I'm suspecting that maybe we can get in the house this way. There might be a secret tunnel.
Okay. You look around. No, there's no large cavern.
Yes.
There's no crawl space. You can just see the holes where the snakes probably went in and out, and it's probably like some of their burrows. But at your feet, as you're kind of shifting around, you can hear like a little bit of clanking, and there are 14 silver pieces at the bottom of the well.
Yeah, I picked that up. I picked that up, obviously.
Okay. And again, the handholds are very obvious. It's easy just to crawl your way back out. Nobody has to worry about dropping a rope or anything.
Yes.
But you are
So-
hurting. You're down to 1 hit point, and everybody can see that you've got this nasty snake bite right in your neck where it got you that first time.
So I'm just gonna climb up and get to the back of the group and just sit out of trouble for a while.
What were you looking for in that fucking well?
As I said, a way to get in the mansion. What were you looking for in the rose bush?
Doors, they are open.
They are obvious. They can be trapped.
Yeah, I agree with them on that one.
It's abandoned mansion. Who would have trapped the door?
Not so abandoned as you can see. Weasels and snakes, and who knows what else is waiting for us.
Yeah, probably spiders and some rats, maybe, if there is enough leftovers from previous.
All right.
Well,
Go ahead, Vasago.
I have been inside a few houses that are trapped, but actually are trapped. So I would take any chance to find a hidden entrance and go through that, rather than go through the obvious, maybe trapdoor. So yeah.
Big
All right,
guys, is
so-
it? Maybe you spend too much time with dwarfs.
Maybe. All right, so you guys confer. So you've taken your first short rest. Nobody has any healing left, unless unless you want to use those healing hands on Argel. But then you guys will be tapped out going into the next phase of the adventure. So decision time. Are you going to use healing hands and still try to push forward, or maybe go back to town, reconnoiter, buy some healing potions, come back and try again?
Seeing as how much trouble we've had with just a few beasts, I think it's going to be wise of us to get some potions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's
So,
also something I
You guys decide, Vasago, you take Argel, kind of like fireman carry him a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is so embarrassing being carried like this. You're like, no, I take care of you. And it's like, you guys head back into town to discuss, plan, and figure out what you're going to do next. You can take a long rest. You can set out again in the morning, and you'll be back up to full hit points. All of your spells will be reset. Argel, you should look at the spells and pick some first level spells. Did you have first level spells already picked, right, Orphea?
No.
Yeah.
Right. Orphea should have them. Argel, you did not. You had your cantrips, but not your first level spells. Yeah. Healing word.
Okay.
Yeah, you use that. Okay.
Yeah.
If you need help picking those, Argel, let me know and I can walk you through it.
I would love to.
Cool. So we'll do that once we're done here. So that's the end of your first session. Good job, everybody. I thought it went really well. How did you guys feel?
It was fun.
My first D&D session ever, so awesome.
Yay.
I'm almost done, Papa.
And we had the smallest adventurer joining us.
Yes, he was over here rolling D20s for me, just playing with dice. It was cute.
Awesome. Okay. So you guys all got another 25 experience points for the snakes. So everybody should currently be sitting at 50.
Whoop.
Yay!
I will point out that you need 300 to make level 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you'll get there.
No, we will live long enough.
You'll get there. Don't worry.
Thank you, guys. I need to run now to make some errands.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. See you soon.
Stay safe.
Yeah, we'll try
See you
again
soon.
next week.
See
See
you.
what happens.
Yes.